All right, guys. So I'm here with my good friend Matt.
Hey everybody, glad to be back again.
Yep, and we're here now. I didn't really talk about it because, shockingly, I'm not the biggest Invincible fan. But Matt and I got to talk about the video game, and we're gonna talk about not only a roster for Invincible versus the upcoming basically the what looks to be a mashup of Mortal Kombat and Marvel vs. Capcom 3 kind of playstyle. Um, oh, excuse me, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. The good one. Um, the
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about initial roster of main characters. Then we're going to go into guest characters and other ones because there's actually a stipulation that there is going to be looks like there is going to be guest characters, but not in the way you think. So we'll talk about main roster first. So Matt, what are your thoughts on this game so far in Invincible Versus?
So far it looked pretty good. I have to say, I don't have a PlayStation, so when I saw that the Marvel game was coming out, the Fighting Souls one, I was really pumped and because who doesn't love Marvel vs. Capcom 2? And then I was kind of disappointed to see it was a PlayStation exclusive, but I guess at the same time Microsoft was working with Robert Kirkman and Amazon, even more so as we'll talk about, and Invincible to make their own fighting game. This 3v3 fighting style game, like you said, reminiscent of things like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, maybe more recently Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, where you do the tag in, tag out 3v3.
Yeah,
but
isn't this from the same developers as Shattered Grid?
No, it's from the same developers as Killer Instinct, actually.
Oh, that's even better. That's much better.
Yeah. So actually, I thought the Killer Instinct game from at least 10 years ago now was pretty solid. Sort of like their reboot where they also had the Battletoads character and stuff.
Yeah, and the Arbiter.
Yes, the Arbiter. So that team is doing it, and so far the graphics look pretty good. The playing style looks pretty good. It should launch in 2026 around the same time as the Marvel game. So with fighting games being my go-to for video gaming, I'm pretty excited about this. I do like Invincible. So I'm excited about this, and I'm excited to talk about who's on the roster, people who we think are likely to make the roster, maybe some characters we'd like to see the roster but are long shots, and then the unique stipulation they put on any potential guest characters would be cool too.
Yeah. So let's talk about the main cast so far. We have 6 characters: Invincible, Adam Eve, and Rexplosion, and also Omni-Man. And I forget the other 2 Viltrumites' names. The one with the long hair and the big guy.
Yeah, Fool is confirmed. Lucen is confirmed, and also Bulletproof is confirmed.
Okay, Bulletproof is also confirmed. That's right.
Yeah.
So we have already a solid roster, and I don't know how big this initial roster is going to be, and that's not talking DLC or guest characters. I imagine, what do you think, 25, 26 is going to be the main roster?
I would think so. Because comparing to Battle for the Grid started out with a really small roster, and that was one of the problems that hurt the game initially. It became a much better game, but that was one of the problems that hurt it. So I do think they're looking to build up the roster before that. The good news is Invincible, at first you might not think it goes just one comic, but has a really deep roster of characters to choose from.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm not an Invincible guy, but I know it's an extensive enough universe where you can use so many characters. Now, I will say I think it'd be stupid to fill up this with just Viltrumites, even though there are some other ones we are going to talk about. I mean, you already, right out the gate, you have 3-4 Viltrumites already, and I'm counting Mark in that one. I also think that it would be a disservice to the rest of that universe. So who would you want to see initially show up, Matt?
Well, I think some people that would almost have to be locks. One would be Robot.
Yeah, Robot, definitely.
I think he would have to be in there. I think for sure fan favorite villain Battle Beast should be in there.
Battle Beast has to be in this game. I thought it was, as much as I like Omni-Man in the game, in Mortal Kombat, I thought it was just dumb to have 2 Superman characters. So I was like, why couldn't it have been Battle Beast?
Yeah, he would have balanced out better. Omni-Man worked great, but it's 2 evil Superman basically. Battle Beast would have been an interesting character to put there. Not as well known as Omni-Man, but certainly very popular to fan base. So for an Invincible game in particular, I think Battle Beast has got to be a lock. The other good news is, for the most part, it looks like that they have all the voice cast in the animated series, like J.K. Simmons and Stephen Young, doing these voices. So hopefully we get isn't it Michael Dorn, I think, voice Battle Beast? That'd be great.
Yeah, it was Michael Dorn.
So I think he should be in there. Other characters, I think, are almost locks. I would say the Immortal, and we can finally get that meme of him getting a win. If he shows up.
Yeah.
Duplicate, I think, is a pretty good shot because also her playstyle could be fun. A lot of the characters we've mentioned so far would have similar playstyles, with the exceptions of Adam, Eve, and Rex Blue. But Duplicate and Robot too have an interesting.
Yeah. Monster Girl is I think is also a lock.
Monster Girl, I'd say, is a lock. Every group needs those sort of like big brawlers. So I think she's a lock. I think the Mauler twins have a very good possibility of making it in.
Yeah. I think Oliver's also a lock.
I would say Oliver's a lock too. Yeah.
What do you think of Tech Jacket?
I think Tech Jacket would be an interesting person to put in there. They'd have to make his play style a little bit different from Robot, but he certainly is. He's more of a spammer type character. He's from that universe, so I think there's a good chance he cameos in the game. And again, like a lot of the characters we mentioned could have similar fighting styles. Not that they can't work in a fighting game like this. Like the Dragon Ball Z characters basically all have the same fighting style, just with a few different specials. So, but I think Tech Jacket would make for a nice different type of player to add in here.
Yeah. I mean, they're gonna showcase him more in the show, so I think that would coincide. So I think Tech Jacket's a solid one.
I think Alan the Alien has a pretty good shot.
Oh, he has to be in. Alan has to be in this game.
Yeah, comic relief character, like your Johnny Cage-esque character, or whatever, because he's funny. Seth Rogen voices him, so they can get that to do him. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. I think also if we're going to go with a few more Viltrumites, I think Anissa is probably going to be considered.
I would think Anissa would be one of the Viltrumites that could be considered. The other one would be Conquest, obviously.
Yeah, Conquest is another would be stupid not to have him in this game.
Yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan voices him, who's always great in whatever he does. You could do different things with his robotic arm to change up the attacks a little bit, so he's not just a carbon copy of, say, Omni-Man. Sort of like it looks like she could be with her hair. I think you could do similar attacks.
Yeah, and that's what I appreciate with at least with throwing in so many Viltrumites. At least our play styles are so different so far.
Yeah. So I think those are the characters. Oh, the only character I think is a lock is Angstrom Levy.
Yeah, I think Levy would probably be like DLC, right?
I would think so. But he is a character who visually looks cool, and his attacks would be so different from everybody else that I think he'd be a great character to put into this game system.
Yeah.
The only one I thought, and this if we don't get Tech Jacket, I think we could get some of the Rihanna men. There's sort of like those remade people from.
Yeah. I think actually, it'd be kind of cool as for an interesting character for this game would be oh god, what's it? He's the Nick Fury of the world. What's his name? The old guy.
Felix?
No, the guy the guy who controls the reanimates. Why am I forgetting his name?
The doctor that made them?
No, he was the guy behind creating the Global Guardians.
Yeah, that's Felix, right?
No, it's some Cyril, right? Cyrus, Cecil. Thank God.
Cecil. Sorry, Cecil. I don't know why I could think of Felix. Sorry, Cecil. You're right, my bad.
Yeah, Cecil. I was like, oh my god, why am I blanking on his name?
Sorry, I don't know why I kept saying Felix.
Yeah,
yes.
Cecil would be an interesting one because that way you can use like the Reanimate as summons. Also, he could like call down just an arsenal of weapons.
Yes, he would be a fun one to put in there for sure.
Yeah. Dinosaurus is an interesting one because I hope he's in the game.
I'd love it if Dinosaurus was in the game. Hasn't appeared, I do not think, in the animated series yet that I can recall, maybe a small cameo. But just imagine, a weird mix between Devil Dinosaur and the Hulk, and you'd have dinosaurs. So like a huge hulking dinosaur man who's like a whacked out eco protector. He'd be fantastic DLC in this game.
Yeah, I also think, and I imagine depending on when this game gets released, we could see him in the show, and he gets to come here. Same with Astounding Wolfman. I think he's also probably, he may be DLC. Astounding Wolfman. We did see him in the show, and he is part of that universe, even though he is from a different comic. He is considered part of the Invincible universe, and we did see him in the Invincible War.
Yes, so I think he'd have a shot too. Those two would be fun DLC type characters where they would bring different play styles and different types of attacks. They're fan favorites. They could definitely appear like in the next season of Invincible. Wouldn't be a surprise at all. Except Amazing or Astonishing Movement already did. So I could see that too.
Yeah.
Any other villains you think for DLC?
I think what's his name? Gearhead.
Yeah, the other one I thought was shoot, I gotta remember his name. The electric dude, where you punch him and
Powerplex.
Powerplex, yeah, I was like Powerhouse. I think Powerplex can make it in. Again, different play style. He could be a bit more of a.
Technical difficulties, folks. We're so professional on this channel. I have seemingly lost my co-host. This is the problem with oh god.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we're still going. I guess
Give me 1 second here.
Yeah.
No, this has not been a great day for me. Alright, sorry, I'm trying to do like this. Alright, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Alright, sorry about that. Did you want to restart? Or?
No, we're still going.
Okay, good. So, my apologies to everybody. My computer hung up somehow, so I apologize. Alright, did you want to switch over to talking about potential guest characters then?
There are two. They're like one more character I think we need to talk about is Thrag.
Yes. Do you think Thrag's in, Thrag's out?
I think depending on when he arrives in the show, it's gonna that's the thing is that this game predicate the amount of characters we get for at least the main roster predicates on who when the show comes out next year, and when the game comes out. So. So I think Thrag could easily be in the main roster, or he could, but I think he has to be in the game. On top of that, I think another character, we're going to go with Global Guardians, I think also Black Samson.
Yeah, I think Black Samson could definitely be in the game.
Yeah, but those are ones I just wanted to throw out real quick. Now moving on to guest characters. For guest characters, there is a stipulation that apparently they are allowed, but they can only be from Amazon shows.
Yeah, so that $200 Gaming reported that after he had spoken to some of the people who had tested out the game, because specifically apparently the game testers were asking for other Image characters to spawn in particular, but as we know, Image isn't like Marvel or DC where they're all under one umbrella. Basically, everything is creator owned there, which is why we're kind of sticking to the Invincible universe, even though Invincible has crossed over in sort of like the odd shared universe that Image has with Savage Dragon and Witchblade and Spawn, but apparently those characters are not on the table. I had for a minute thought when this first came out that maybe we could get some Microsoft characters since these were the developers from Killer Instinct. Maybe we get some of those characters, or maybe like a Master Chief as sort of like Microsoft's unofficial mascot could be on the table. But it turns out, as you said, that any guest characters, because this is being largely funded by Amazon, would have to come from Amazon TV shows. So that led you and I to think about some interesting characters that could possibly be in there. So ones that came to mind right away if we're going with Amazon and looking at like 2026 characters that could be in there, the Boys universe came to mind. But I think right away you and I are both like, not Homelander. We just got Homelander and Omni-Man both in Mortal Kombat, right?
Yeah, and we had the death battle. We don't need Homelander again. Now, if you want to put a character in there that's as powerful as Homelander, you could do Stormfront. You could do actually Soldier Boy would probably go over really well.
I think Soldier Boy's got a very good chance. I mean, know he's going to be in the next season, so I think Soldier Boy would have a really good chance. You could probably get Jensen Ackles to voice him, so he would be one of my top picks. I think Starlight's not a terrible pick. Again, we don't have like a lot of energy-based characters.
Yeah,
her powers are different enough from Adam Eve that I could see her making it in there.
A-Train, because I think A-Train would be cool because we need a speedster.
A-Train would be cool, and I don't think we're getting the speedster from the Guardians, who was killed off really fast by Omni-Man. So I do think A-Train is a possibility, and again, would possibly do it. You suggested Billy Butcher, who I think could be fun.
Yeah, Billy Butcher, I think Billy Butcher's my top pick for this for the boys. Either him or Soldier Boy are my top two picks.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a sleeper pick I've been thinking about, because this show will come out at the end of 2025, so depending on when the game comes out. But from the boys spin-off, the Gen V, what about the Marie Moreau character who can like control blood? Because we've seen a lot of blood in this game, so I think it'd be kind of cool if her attacks were like to take the blood off of herself or off of the person she's fighting and turn it into like a weapon. It could be fun in terms of playstyle.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool. I think also like Gen V they really want to push, so it would make sense.
Yeah. I'm also thinking in terms of what Amazon wants to push. So I think, I would say, I think Soldier Boy still has the best chance. Then I would look at like the others you mentioned. I think in terms of playstyle, A-Train would be fun. He's also popular enough or well known enough. Starlight, Billy Butcher, obviously. But I think if they're pushing Gen V, Marie Moreau could be like a dark horse type character. Any other Amazons? We talked about a couple of Amazon series. Do you want to throw one out there?
I'm not going to say Spider-Man Noir because that's technically Sony. Same with Batman and Cape Crusader Batman. That's still DC. So directly Amazon. I think if you want to say like directly under Amazon, I think, and we talked about this, Has Been Hotel actually has a legit shot.
Yes. Yeah, very popular show. I think a very legit shot at making it in.
As for like guest characters there, it could easily be Alistair. He is the most popular character, and I think also his play style would be really fun. It'd be very unique in this term of like, you know, he can control shadows, he can literally grow to giant size and eat people. He's also like capable of like just a teleport move. I mean, really, like a lot of the has-been characters could make it in. Same with the Hell of a Boss characters. But yeah, now one I really thought, like this came to me when I was talking to Matt about this. When we were talking about this video was, and this is a interesting one, but it is under Amazon, James Bond.
Yeah, so I thought about that. In terms of name recognition, it's hard to get bigger. I think if we were closer to a new Bond movie coming out and a Bond being cast, it would be a better chance. I'm not so sure they're going to go back and put like Daniel Craig in at this point. Yeah.
Also, like the other thing is like character likeness is pretty hard, like actor likeness.
Yeah. But I do think one like character along those same lines who might have a shot is Reacher.
Yeah.
From the series, not as like the tech as James Bond, sort of a same issue Butcher might have as the power scaling. I mean, it's a game, so we've seen characters like in the Marvel vs. Capcom games, certainly where the power scaling is, way off, actually, if you think about it. But they still work because it's a game. But Reacher's a huge dude. He's well-versed in weapons. Could be a possibility on the table as well. I was thinking about other ones. I don't know. I think in playstyle could work, but in terms of popularity and relevance at this point, I don't know if any of the Rings of Power characters would be viable. What do you think?
I don't know, like those like the Rings of Powers characters. I don't know. I have not like this show's getting 3 seasons, and I don't know anyone who likes this show.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know that it helps out. The other shows we talked about have a following.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really the thing is that like I don't know anyone who actually likes Rings of Power, and I personally watched a few episodes. I was like, it's not for me. And yeah, I like it could happen, but like I don't know anyone who actually likes this show.
Yeah, I agree too. That's why I don't think it's there. So one character that's been, he's sort of like a borderline guest character, but is an invincible character from Amazon specifically at this point. Do you think Agent Spider has a shot?
Agent Spider, I mean, he is technically in the show, and if they can't get Spider, which they can't, um, I think Agent Spider would be a fun DLC character. He wouldn't even be a guest character; it'd just be like, oh, he's just part of the show.
Right, right. So my only thought with that is, I think if it was just Amazon, that they wouldn't care, but they are pairing with Sony to do the Spider Noir show, and Sony, their big money comes from PlayStation, which is releasing the rival game to this, which features Spider-Man. So do you think they'd ruffle feathers by putting Agent Spider in there, or do you think it's not a problem?
I think he's a distinct enough character where it's not. It's just going to be like a little middle finger at them at most.
It'd be a fun DLC. Like I think a ton of people would buy him, especially if they got Josh Keaton come back and voice him again.
Absolutely.
So that's. But overall, I would say I'm looking forward to this game. What do you think? You looking forward to it? Do you think it's not going to do well? I mean,
I think
early for both games.
I think it's too early to tell. I do like the idea of like putting that kind of level of insane, high, vibrant action with the goriness of a Mortal Kombat game. I think that's really solid. I just don't want this to be flooded with Viltrum. And also, I don't want it to be flooded with fucking Mark variants. Mark variants can go to alternate costumes.
Totally agree. Yeah, I think that I know there's Invincible War. We got all those different variants. They would all play the same. I think just do alternate costumes.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no need to fill the roster with like 5-6 different marks.
No. Quick question for you: more excited for this or the Marvel Rivals, or not Marvel Rivals, Marvel fighting game?
The Marvel Fighting Souls. I'm kind of at even with both because I like what I saw so far, but it's kind of like comparing apples to oranges right now for me.
Fair enough, yeah. I haven't seen enough yet either, but I'm excited for both of them, I would say.
Yeah. All right, but you guys tell us in the comments. I think that we covered everything, but you guys tell us in the comments below. What do you think would a who do you want to see in the Invincible Versus game? Just comment below, let us know. And yeah, Matt, thanks for coming on here.
Thank you for having me. I always appreciate it. I apologize about that breakdown in the middle for my technology.
Oh, they know I'm not professional on this channel.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in Multiverse.